Speaking of which, I'm gonna get very like The View or like very much daytime talk show. Tell us your story. Share your truth with me, Vanessa Lancione.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well done. God, where do I start? Okay, I'm gonna start with my last name. How you pronounce it is Lancione because it's
Lancione. What was that close?
Italian. Yeah, well, yeah, because I feel like the CI, everyone says like CO, but it's like in Italian, it's CI is like a ch sound. Fun facts about me. So yeah, God, my story. Where the hell do I begin? From Montreal initially, moved to Mississauga when I was 6, grew up there, went to the University of Windsor in the BFA acting program. I was an actor for most of my life. And then when I was in my 4th year of university, I kind of started to realize like, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to want to pursue this professionally, only because I was like, I love it, but I don't know if I love it enough to do what is required to really get yourself out there in terms of like, I knew that I was moving back home with my parents in Mississauga, which isn't far from Toronto. However, like just commuting to Toronto for auditions and like having to work like part-time to pay off student loans, because that's another thing. I was an idiot and actually went into debt for university, which I tell everybody not to do, because what is the point?
It's university, like I don't mean to sidetrack, but like is that not one of the biggest Ponzi schemes looking back? I can understand if you want to specialize in a field, but like looking back on it now, it's just they're basically just stockpiling funds and basically just you don't know where all this is being distributed equally. It's a lot like the mess we find ourselves in now.
It's funny that you say that, right? Because I have been in network marketing, which is often called a pyramid or Ponzi scheme, like just because people don't really know the difference really. And like even just now what I'm doing with affiliate marketing and direct sales and all that, I'll get to that in a sec. But it's just interesting that you say that, because those very people that are like, oh, like, I don't want to join your pyramid scheme, like they literally go into the Ponzi scheme that is university, and like they all end up being professors at some point, because what the fuck else are you supposed to do?
It's a very insulated way to live. I've never understood that. Like I don't get me wrong, I don't regret going to university. I met you and I met a lot of great friends and I made connections and I came out of my shell more. But looking back on it, I could have done without the debt. And luckily I paid all that shit off. I had a lot of help, luckily, but I would have been saddled with debt to this fucking day.
And like I said it because my brother, he's 18 and he's just finished his first year, which sucks. He's all online, obviously, which is shitty. And he didn't get to have like a prom or anything like that last year because of COVID and all that fun stuff. So
no wonder kids are stealing bird scooters, man. They're fucking pissed off. They didn't get to have their prom. Is that a problem where you're at in the UK? Because like we just got bird scooters and I swear to God, they're taking over.
Wait, what's a bird scooter?
You never see those little shitty those scooters that hipsters light on? Like there'll be like 2 or 3 hopping on. It's like the skinny little thing that you can just rent them or like 100 or like something an hour.
That is not what we see here. I have no idea. I live in the UK, by the way, for those watching.
just to preface, Vanessa is 5 hours ahead of me. So if I was in your time zone, I'd be drunk 5 hours ago.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to know. But yeah,
I'm behaving myself.
That's all right. I forgot what I was saying. I think I was saying something about my brother.
Yeah. Your brother's going into university and like,
yeah. So he's in like, well, here's the thing, background with my brother. He's like a huge athlete. He's been an athlete all of his life. And then he's like also a major sports nerd. Like he knows everything about every sport ever. Like it's actually really kind of creepy, but he is in, I guess, like human kinetics, HK or whatever, kinesiology, whatever. Yeah. So he's doing that because he has like goals. He wants to be like a physio, things like that. And I was like, that's fine. Like go into university for something that like you absolutely need the university degree in order to get to whatever, career that you want. But the fact that like I literally went to school for acting, like, and it's not a bad thing, right? Like if you can afford to go do whatever you want to do. If you can afford, university and you just want to get a sociology degree, by all means, go ahead, but just don't go into debt for it. And equally, if you're going to university, like, I don't know, I just think there's a lot of pointless degrees at the moment, I think. And then you have people graduating university being like, the system's like fucked. Why don't I get paid more? And it's like, because you got a useless degree and you bring no value to the workforce.
And there's an inflation of everything too. Like, do you find that a lot with like younger people now? They want to be famous as opposed to successful. Like, I think there's a big distinction between being quote unquote famous and like just being successful. To me, the richest and the most successful people don't have to flaunt their shit online all the time, like the Bilzerians of the world or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of like I don't know, like a disconnect, a cognitive dissonance in a way. Like people just, I think our generation, we were told to go to university because our parents' generation, they had what, like 10% of them going to get degrees. So they thought like, okay, well, now you have to do what we were told to do. But I say this all the time, our world has like exponentially changed and we're consistently like innovating. Like think back to when we were kids versus like what we have access to now. That happened within like a 20-year time span. Like it's absolutely insane. And the fact that we're still pushing people to go get degrees when everybody and their mother has a degree, it's like, well, the value of that degree now has completely diminished.
We're running an old software on a new computer is what you're getting at.
Yeah, literally that's exactly what it is. That's and I just think that and I don't know if you see any of this, but I think that people are kind of just told like go to school so that you can be an employee, when it's like the jobs are even changing at the moment, right? And it's like I think that there's a lot of, I guess, stifling of creativity and innovation and entrepreneurship and things like that, because it's like the world is literally changing, the workforce is changing, and you're literally still doing things that don't work, and you're still not actually gaining any sort of skills to, you know, add value to society in that way. I just think it's very interesting. And I also think university, it's very I don't know if you agree with this, but I think a lot of people that I went to university with who are just spouting off all kinds of facts on the internet, they're like, it's like elitist. It's academia that's like elitist to me. I'm like, the real world doesn't function in the, you know, fringe areas of academia.
The real world doesn't care about, you know, a 17th century poet that like you like wrote a 5-page essay on or whatever. It's not as linear as people would like to think. Because, you know, like you said, you go to school, you do this and that, and there's step A and B and they equal C. It's not as conventional as that. And like, it's hilarious how when we were growing up too, our parents are like, why are you wasting time playing video games? What the fuck are you doing on the computer all day? Meanwhile, that's literally where the jobs are at right now, on the computer and playing video games, you know, and OnlyFans too. It's different.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's kind of what's crazy. Like I say this a lot in like my content, just you know, on Instagram and stuff, is that it's like people are literally making money online from creating content. Like even like this, like having a podcast, having, you know, a YouTube channel, like even being a part of the creator fund on TikTok. Like there's literally an audience for everything. And like you can literally teach people whatever like skills that you have, you can like put that shit on YouTube and like voila, you get monetized. And it's just bizarre, like that people, I don't know. I think people are very stuck in like old ways of thinking and old ways of like creating wealth, or not even creating wealth, like just getting by, just like surviving kind of thing. And it's like, actually, like we've never had a better opportunity in this lifetime to create the life that we want to create. You know, like we have literally everything at our fingertips. We just need to be resourceful and like, you know, start looking. I'm like, my God, everything's free on the internet. Like, why are we still pushing kids to go into debt for school? Like, it just doesn't make sense, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, like, I think you should have been a guidance counselor because you'd keep it real. You would be like one of those Michelle Pfeiffer Dangerous Minds, a guidance counselor. Put your legs up and like talk to the kids like, listen, motherfucker, we got to do it this way.
Yeah, well, and I think that's kind of just like what's lacking. And I just had to have a real conversation with my brother. I was like, listen, like you don't need to do XYZ. But like, it's so funny just talking to my boyfriend's parents and even like my parents, like they still don't get it. Like they don't get that the world is genuinely changing, and they're still like blaming the government. I'm like, the government is the issue, so why do you want more government? Like, I don't understand. Like,
Yeah,
they don't know what they're doing.
I was gonna say it's gotten us so fucking far in the past year. Everybody totally has the utmost trust, and there's
No,
no dissonance at
100%.
all.